Hey everybody, welcome to our new podcast, Three Guys Walking to Culinary School. Podcast about our journey through culinary school together and the discussions that we have, all things based on all things culinary. My name is Jamir Ravanos. Next to me is Tim Delaney, and on the end there is Brian Davis. What's up, guys?
What's up, Jimmy?
Nothing much, man. I'm very excited that we're getting this going. I think we've been talking about this for a couple of years now, texting about it. No real prep work, but just, discussing it like we have to get it off the ground, and we get to finally share our story, and I'm very excited about that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, man. We had some good times. I think those was it 12 months, not even, maybe 10 months of culinary school was really something I wanted to do myself personally, for less professionally, but more because something that's always like intrigued me, something I've always liked to do. So I'm so glad I got to do it. I'm so glad we learned. I'm so glad we get to share, first of all, like what we learned and like our experience through it, because I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who want to go to culinary school, who are thinking about it, maybe don't want to ask the questions about it, maybe they're a little shy about it. So we're going to share some info about culinary school. We're going to share info about techniques. We'll talk everything culinary, I think. Trends on the internet. We'll talk culinary tools. We'll talk culinary recipes. We'll talk just stories about life, which is going to be my favorite part because I'm the emotional mush of the group, I think. But I think I just want to get into real quick, give people a little insight, what we each as an individual wanted to get out of culinary school, why we decided to go to culinary school, and kind of let people know, hey, like, this is our journey. Get ready to hear more about it. I don't know if, Tim, you want to start off with that? Bri?
Yeah, I'm happy to kick it off.
Yeah, please. This is the first segment of our first podcast ever. Don't screw it up.
So basically, I was just unhappy with what I was doing in employment-wise, and I needed a change, and I kind of always wanted to go to culinary school. I remember when high school ended, when I was talking to my mom about what I was going to do next, I had mentioned culinary school, to which her response was, "You don't even know how to cook." So that kind of rained on my parade there, and I kind of put it on the back burner and tried a bunch of other things after that, and but always kind of wanted to go to culinary school. And then I was just at a point in my life where I needed a change, and I mentioned it to my wife, and she didn't think it was crazy at all, and she was very supportive and kind of went and checked it out. We went in together, kind of checked out the school, and basically the first 20 minutes we were there, I knew it was what I wanted to do. I knew it was going to kind of take me in the direction I wanted to go, and kind of never looked
Yeah, I
back.
think what Tim was getting at is, I think walking into that building, and Brian, you could definitely agree to this. I think like not just the building, but the actual culinary school. You walk into the lobby, you see all the kids in their uniforms. You see the instructors. You see all these cool kitchen tools and everything that's going on there. Because there's also like recreational classes and all that, and you kind of fall in love with the school. It's a beautiful venue. It's a great location. And, even if you don't like cooking, I think the campus, air quotes campus, because it's in the middle of New York City, or in the tip of New York City, in Battery Park, is something that you really could fall in love with easily.
Yeah, and it was so just like buttoned up, and it seemed like it was like the real deal. The first time you walk in there, and I can relate to Tim's story a lot. I went to culinary school. I was in a really similar position to Tim, just a little unhappy with where I was professionally and what was going on in my life. And I wasn't married at the time. I was dating my now wife, but she knew that I was always into cooking, and it was always sort of a hobby and an interest of mine. And she always encouraged me to sort of take it a little more seriously than I had. Seriously in considering it as like an actual career instead of just a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we were on vacation. We were we were in Italy, and we got into this huge fight, big blow up. And she's like, if you don't enroll in culinary school when we get back to New York, then I'm gonna break up with you. And that was like the
Ooh.
ultimatum. um, and immediately, once we got back, I had I had already like toyed around with the thought and had done all of the legwork and reached out to like the recruiter and the admissions office and everything, but I just never really pulled the trigger. So once we got back, I had decided just to go ahead and pull the trigger and sign those documents,
Oh my
those loan
God. We'll
documents.
talk about those documents. We'll definitely talk about those documents. People need to
Yeah.
know. But yeah, man, you did it for love. It sounds like you did it for love, and you did it. It's just a perfect example, and you'll learn more about Brian as we go because he's got his own little social media background, and he's got his websites and his Instagrams, and it's a really great story from Brian. So we can't wait to share that with you guys in the long run. But yeah, like you said, like both you guys were kind of unhappy where you were at professionally. I think I was in the same boat. I kind of went into it thinking like, maybe I won't get the most out of it, or I wasn't being true to myself. I'd be honest with you. Where my then girlfriend, now wife, was super encouraging about it. I didn't want to ultimately get into the restaurant rat race, I guess you could say. I wanted something different out of it, and I did it hoping to get to that. But the culinary school program isn't really, or at least back then in 2017 when we enrolled, isn't really focused on secondary, culinary stuff, culinary writing, food writing,
Yeah.
social media stuff. So it was really focused on cooking, obviously, but I still love what we did. I did later in life. I was, I think, 36, 35 when I enrolled. And I did it because, there was self-doubt in me. When I was in 20, when I wanted to do this, 22, 23, when I probably should have done it to get the most out of it career-wise, I, didn't think I could do it or should do it or, kind of just doubted myself there. So I had the encouragement from my now wife to if I love it, do it. I did it. No regrets, obviously, and gained a lot of great things out of it. And I mean, the friendship of you two guys is probably the greatest thing I gained out of it. Worst thing we gained out of it were those student loans. But a lot of good things in between, obviously. But yeah, man,
I,
I'm happy. Sorry.
I think we forgot to mention that we went to the Institute for Culinary Education, which I know I picked because it had a better football team than CIA. So that was
CIA's
my
football team
that was my
is
reason.
it's terrible. They're a great chess team, but not so much in football. Yeah, no, the football team was great. They recruited us, I think, Tim. We need offensive linemen. Brian, you're more of a wide receiver, I think. You got the speed, the agility. Tim and I just take up space. But we were good at that. No, absolutely, yeah. Institute of Culinary Education, formerly the Institute of Culinary Excellence, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, a few years back before that. Great school. I think it was voted #1 in America for a couple of years in a row there.
Yeah.
Great program. We had great instructors, great classmates, fantastic facility. Definitely worth a tour if you're in downtown Manhattan. Just go in. And they have rec classes, so if you want to pretend you're in a culinary school for 3 hours and cook some steak or tacos or something, definitely take the rec classes because it's a cool place to be.
Absolutely.
Guys, I'm really excited. I think, I kind of touched on it earlier, but, we're going to do episodes, we're planning on doing episodes, just touching everything culinarily from A to Z. Again, like I kind of want to get into kitchen tools that we use. I kind of want to get into social media and publications and, just what we consume because my life always was consumed by consuming food media. Like I always watched food TV. I always had, the social medias with all the food blogs, all the, celebrity chefs and now social media chefs. So it's we can't wait to share that with you and discuss what we like and dislike. And we want you guys to get involved. You guys are listening. I'm blabbering, but we want you to talk too. We want you to like the podcast, comment, please, subscribe. Even if you don't like the podcast, share it. Maybe someone else will like it, and then you can make fun of them for liking it. But maybe there's something there for everyone. So, you can find us everywhere you get your podcasts. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on all the socials. There'll be links to all that. And you can consume us in many ways. Sounded weird, but yes, you can consume us in many ways.
Just don't tell my wife.
Visually, audio, and all that good stuff. And don't tell Tim's wife because
Yes.
keep that on the download. And I promise you guys, I know it doesn't look like it, but I'm not recording from my mother's basement. I'm recording from the basement my wife and I own. So the fact that I'm wearing a T-shirt that says Brotherhood of Pizza Enthusiasts doesn't help my story, but I promise you we own this house. But guys, I can't wait to get into it more and more with you guys. Every week we should be releasing an episode
Absolutely.
talking about all the good stuff.
Hey, Jimmy, one last thing.
What do you got?
Why couldn't the pepper do archery?
Why couldn't the pepper do archery?
It didn't have an arrow.
Oh God! Again. All right, guys. Again, I'm Jimmy Ravanos.
Tim Delaney.
I'm Brian Davis.
And please, thank you for listening, and we look forward to talking and hanging with you guys every week.
Later.
Peace out, guys. Peace.